I suppose the first question you're going to ask is, why are you doing a YouTube video, Tolstoy? And the answer is, of course, because I freaking want to. And I guess the other question you're going to ask is, what's up with, like, you know, the, Subterranean Homesick Blues, Bob Dylan look? Like, all I need now is, oh, great. All I need now, ready? Is like I'm going to have a stone face and the pieces of papers, and I'm going to be throwing the papers over my shoulder. Get it? No? Right? John is in the basement, looking up the medicine, I'm on the pavement, thinking about the government. Come on, you never seen that video? It's pretty famous. Yeah. And, I'm going to review for you today a miniature balisong keychain. See? I can, like, flip a miniature balisong. It's not what the video's about. Anyway, speaking of Bob Dylan, let's talk about sellouts. Oh, I'm gonna get hate mail for that. Anyway, right. Yeah, so, on my page, which, first of all, let's talk about YouTube and their, new crappy beta channels. Fuck the beta channels. Somebody explain to me what this shit is about. I was doing some reading back before they were, like, you know, forcing people at gunpoint to adopt the beta channels, and, I read somewhere, I'm pretty sure, maybe I watched a video about it, that these new, channels are to basically phase out little users on YouTube. There's something about how if all the videos can be accessed from the page, from the person's main page, from, you know, their channel, they don't actually get any views. So if you click on one of their videos on their channel, that doesn't, you know, contribute to their success on YouTube. Not like the views count anymore, seeing as YouTube just manipulates the views to make sure that people like Fred get enough views, I don't know, to something. Anyway, so somebody explain to me why only some people had to convert. Fred didn't have to convert, so why did I? I certainly didn't ask for it. One day I tuned up, I went to YouTube, I clicked the whatever, and then all of a sudden, yeah, so somebody explained it to me. Anyway, on my new fucked up beta channel, people are holding this weird argument about, yeah, and I can hear the nice siren going by. What the fuck? Have to live near a firehouse. Anyway, people are having this weird argument about sellouts, and somehow that linked to Green Day. Like, somebody said Green Day was a sellout. I don't know where the sellout argument came from, but it's kind of interesting because, I don't know, you gotta kind of have two camps of people. It's like two great arguments. One, you got like the hippies, they all dress like this, all of them, all the hippies. And they say, hey man, like, selling out's like bad, man. And then you have the other camp of people who shave and bathe, and they're all like, no it's not, cause, nah. They're like, success is the measurement of success. Yeah. I don't know. No, it's like, I guess the big example I can think of is sort of like the guy who did Space. Space was like his English-British comedy that was like focused specifically on like reference humor. I mean, like they did Star Wars humor and well, who doesn't? Anyway, and it was written by, I believe, some guy named Edgar Wright, and was also written and acted and directed, whatever, by Simon Pegg, who kind of looks like Dr. Ashens, and Nicholas Frost. And they were into... Do I still have that poster? Oh, yeah, I do. I must. Come on, now. What do we got? Nope. These are all... What the hell is this? Huh. Right. Spirit poster. Remember, I got these for Christmas somehow, because somebody grabbed them at the comic book store. But I had a Hot Fuzz poster floating around somewhere. Anyway, and they did... two movies in what they are considering, quote, the Blood and Ice Cream trilogy, which is, Shaun of the Dead and, Hot Fuzz, and they're gonna do more stuff, and basically, somebody commented about how, Simon Pegg went on to go do Run Fatty Run, or Run Fat Boy Run, whatever the hell it is, a few, like, Hollywood American films that really didn't do that well because they were crap. And in an interview with the BBC or something like that, he said, well, there are some people who are going to call you a sellout. And he said, it's as though I'm supposed to languish in obscurity forever just to please them. And I believe that is miscasting the argument of what a sellout is. I checked it out on Wikipedia, and the wiki says that to sell out is to compromise one's values, motives, you know, whatever, to achieve more success or more money, simply for profit. And for some reason we look down on that. And I was actually thinking a lot about that because recently, it's not like I've never known about Bob Dylan, but in the last year or so I've listened to a few of his songs, and I think, because I remember once, way before I knew who Bob Dylan was, my parents saw like a public television thing, PBS special about him, and they're like, hey, this is the guy that you would like, because he's all counterculture and crap, and I'm like, eh. First of all, I always thought that Bob Dylan sounded like a dying cat was singing, like every time he was singing, he, you know, but still, then I went to go see The Watchmen. I guess it's kind of where my fascination started, because I went to go see The Watchmen in theaters, which was nowhere near as good as the graphic novel, and I have to say that. That's like the, you know, the disclaimer. Yes, I'm a total loser, but I didn't like it as much as the movie. The movie was okay, and I really thought that the opening was excellent. I think the Bob Dylan, The Times Are Changing song in that opening really made it what it was. Anyway, and I started getting into that, but I did some research, and my dad had always told me, oh, you need to listen to My Back Pages. That small song specifically would describe your stuff about the world. And I listened to it, and I realized, basically, it's this very, very, what's the word? It was almost an insult, because basically in the song My Back Pages, Bob Dylan says a whole bunch of stuff about, like, you know, I was all political and filled with passion, but, quote, I was so much older then, and I'm younger than that now, you know, as if we were all, I don't know, basically, he wrote the song to distance himself from the protest movement, of which he was like the shining, glorious prophet. And so I find that kind of interesting. And I looked at some of the interviews, and it's like almost as though he was trying to push this, you know, with that album that he started on, Bob Dylan, a new side of Bob Dylan, something like that. It's almost as though he was pushing this new image, and he kept talking about how his old songs weren't good, and how these new songs are all three-dimensional. And I'm like, well, you know, I don't know. Anyway, but my point was, right, that is he a sellout? People are going to scream at me because they don't want to hear that Bob Dylan's a sellout, but it's sort of like, he started off in this protest movement, and then he's trying to distance himself, and he wrote that stupid song, and I'm like, I think that he started off singing these songs that came straight from the heart, like Hard Rain, which he wrote, like, you know, during the time, I believe he was homeless? Or about homeless people, something like that. And then it's like, you know, he went from that sort of to, this video's done.